Amazing goals, history being made. The 2023-24 Asian Cup group stage is now complete. We've set the round of 16, and I am back to give you the round of 16 predictions. Stay tuned, and we're going to tell you who's going to win it all in the Asian Cup for 23-24. Chris with Game Day Adventures. I'm back for the AFC Champion Knockout stage. We're down the round of 16. We had an amazing group stage, a lot of surprises. But if you followed our prediction video before the tournament, we were pretty close and pretty dead on who would make it to the round of 16. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with your Group A winner, Qatar. Qatar will match up with Palestine. These are two Middle Eastern teams. Qatar easily dominated their Group A. Palestine was one of the teams that finished third in their group. There were 4 teams that finished third in groups that got to move on. Qatar will continue their success, continue their domination. Qatar easily handles Palestine and moves on here to the quarterfinal. Next up is your Group B winner, Australia. Australia has had an easy Group B win, some dominant wins, some controlling wins, and they will match up against the surprise of the tournament, perhaps you could say, is Indonesia. Indonesia was one of the 4 teams who finished third in their group. They actually made it in on the last day of the group stage with their goal differential. So Indonesia, Australia match up. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Australia. Australia moves on to the quarterfinals. Next up is Iran. Iran is one of the best teams in this tournament. They won their Group C, and they will face off against a Syria team who finished third in Group B. While I do think Syria will put up a decent fight, Iran has been very good in this tournament. They've scored the goals when they needed to. They've put up points, and I think Iran will easily move on here. I'm going to give it Iran moving on to the quarterfinals. Next up, Group D winners, Iraq. Iraq made history beating Japan, a major upset, winning that group over Japan. They'll finish third place finisher, Jordan, from their Group E. So you've got Iraq and Jordan. I'm going to give this one to Iraq. They continue with the success. They continue with the momentum of historic win. Iraq moves on to the quarterfinals over Jordan. Your Group E winner, Bahrain, was a team that I didn't even have moving on to the round of 16. Total surprise in their Group E championship for me, but I think their story ends here. They're going to have the toughest matchup of all the group winners. They'll face Japan, who finished second place in their group, which was much of a surprise with their loss to Iraq. So I'm going to say Japan gets their act together, gets back on track. Japan beats Bahrain, moves to the quarterfinals. Last but not least is your Group F winner, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia will match up against second place in their group, Korea. I think this is the matchup of the first round of 16. If you're going to watch one match, I think this is the match. I think this will be ultimately close, and really this could determine that side of the bracket. Korea was disappointed finishing second in their group. Korea has really gave up some easy goals in a matter of minutes, especially their game with Malaysia. On the other hand, Saudi Arabia has looked brilliant at times, and at other times they've struggled to score and get the goals they did, like their last game in Thailand. But maybe this is a little bit of a surprise here. I think this will be super close, and I'm talking about this one a little bit more. But I'm going to tell you, the surprise of the first round, Saudi Arabia beats Korea. Saudi Arabia moves on to the quarterfinals. That leaves us 2 matchups on each side of the bracket. We'll jump in to the one with a pair of second place finishers, and that's in Uzbekistan and Thailand. I think this is a great matchup. Could go either way, really. Thailand has played really well. Uzbekistan has played well at times, but they're facing some injuries even before the tournament and now in the knockout stage. So I'm going to say this based on Thailand's great play, Uzbekistan's injuries. They're both teams that finished second in their groups. Thailand moves on. Thailand has surprised a little bit, surprised me. It's who I'm cheering for where I'm based. Go Thailand. We are Thailand. Changsuk! Thailand moves on. Changsuk to the quarterfinals. The other side of the bracket is our final matchup in the round of 16, and it features a team that not in a million years would I thought have made it into the round of 16. And that is Turkmenistan. I always like saying that, but Turkmenistan will go against UAE for their matchup. I think while this is a huge win to just make it to the round of 16 for Turkmenistan, UAE handles them quite easy, moves on to the quarterfinals. So UAE to the quarterfinals over Turkmenistan. So your quarterfinals are set. You've got 8 teams ready to get down to 4, making it to the semifinals. We'll start on one side of the bracket, and that is with the host team Qatar facing off against Thailand. While Thailand has done nothing but please me so far, and pleased and shocked a lot of people, have moved up the FIFA standings to be one of the best teams in Southeast Asia through this tournament, I think Qatar continues their quality play. Home crowd backs them. Qatar beats Thailand to move on to the semis. On that same side of the bracket, on the bottom half, Iran faces Japan. And this right here, guys, is one of the best matchups that you'll see in the tournament. These are two powerhouse teams in the AFC Asian Cup. Japan has not quite looked as good as they should be, but Iran, I don't think they've been tested. I don't think they've had too many challenges. I do think Japan gets it done close. Maybe we go to penalties, but I'm going to say Japan does move on to the semis. Next up, on the other side of the bracket, you've got Australia and Saudi Arabia. Australia has played a lot of quality teams leading up to this tournament. While their group may not have been the toughest, compared to Saudi's had a tough group, I think a little bit tougher group, and then their first round matchup against Korea will also be a challenge. I do think when the Australians play the Saudis, Australia gets it done, moves on to the semi. The last but not least quarterfinal is UAE versus Iraq. I'm going to go ahead and cut straight to the chase. I think Iraq continues their dominance, continue their success. They've had some amazing wins. Those wins will continue, and they will move over to the semifinals. Iraq over the UAE here. We're down to the 4 best teams in the Asian Cup. If you like what we're doing, you like our predictions, because we're getting them right for you guys. You have to like them. Subscribe, like what we do, like this video, tell your friends about us. Game Day Adventures, we're coming at you, and we're going to give you the first semifinal winner right now. And let's get into the matchup between host country Qatar and Japan. I cannot tell you how that arena is going to be buzzing. What I wouldn't do to go to that matchup, I think you got the whole country of the host team playing right there in one of the biggest stadiums in their country. It's just going to be an electric atmosphere. All of that energy, all that momentum that Qatar will need will be there. It will be there. But I think Japan's skills and their ability to score goals outweighs the atmosphere that Qatar will have behind them. So Japan moves on and goes to the finals of the 2023-24 Asian Cup. The second semifinal features Australia and Iraq. 2 close teams that have made it this far. I think Iraq will have the energy of the stadium. They'll have the crowd pull. That'll go to them. They have the momentum of successful wins, but I think Australia is the better team here. Australia has just performed well with quality teams from around the world in 23 and leading 24 up to this tournament. So I'm telling you, Australia moves on to the finals of the 2023-24 Asian Cup. Finally, we've made it down to the finals of the Asian Cup, and it features 2 powerhouses in Asian football, Japan and Australia. These are the 2 teams it's going to be. I promise you, these are the 2 teams it's going to be. So, who's going to win it all? Well, I think Australia has had the easier path to get to the finals. I think they've played against a lot of quality teams. even before the tournament outside of Asia, Australia tends to play well against great teams, and they will match up with a great team in Japan. Yes, I know Japan lost against Iraq. I know Japan has at times not necessarily played the quality football that they have played against better teams around the world, but I do think Japan still plays a quality game, and I do think this will be your winner. It will be Japan winning the 2023-24 Asian Cup. Japan will be your winner. So if you like what we do, subscribe, comment below if you think we got it right. If you think Japan or someone else other than Japan will be your Asian Cup winner, let me know. I want to know. Chris with Game Day Adventures signing off. Congratulations, Japan, on your Asian Cup championship.